Welcome to 305 Radio. This is Struck, and on today's episode, we are here with Jokes. How do I introduce you, man? Do I say Jokes, Jorge Yanes?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you can just call me Jokes, or you can just Jokes Yanes. Jokes Yanes is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. But or you call me George, that's fine too. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? There's different things. You know what I mean?
It stays like this.
Yeah. Well, you're a George too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why.
You know what I mean? So you understand that like there's so many of them that you always have a nickname. I always had a nickname growing up.
Yeah.
So that was just the nickname that stuck, and we rocked with it. You know what I mean?
How'd you end up with Jokes?
Bro, it was like a graffiti tag, and then I just used it in film school as a brand, and everybody kind of like took to it, and like it felt good, and it was like kind of like when I used to be like a rapper, you know what I mean? Like it was like one of the many names that I had or whatever that you like vibed with.
Yeah.
And then, but at that point, I was already transitioning into film, so I used it as like a brand in film school, and like it caught attention. People would just caught on to it immediately.
Yeah.
Like they remembered the name immediately. Nobody in my class didn't know my name, so I was like, "Oh, that's
Jokes.
cool. Like that works." You know what I mean? Like that's gonna keep working. I could use it for film, and I also did like it was in the beginning of the music video world, like it had like a branding feel to it too, and like it worked. It was getting me work, not just my name, but the work that I was doing. Plus, like the name just made people remember me.
Of course. It's hella branding, man.
I mean, by accident. Branding by accident, just for like being more like living in hip hop life, you know what I mean? Like just like.
And how'd you start? And you got into film because of. I know your work from music videos.
Right.
You started music videos back in the day.
Right.
So what was your initial goal getting into film?
Bro, initially, I got like doing music and doing rap shit got me like real disciplined and like sitting down and writing. And I always had ideas for stories forever. And I painted and I went to art schools and I did all that stuff, even though I was, getting in trouble all the time and doing all the Miami shit that all of us did. Not saying, but you do all that shit, you get into all kind of wild stuff. You're not really thinking about school, especially in that era.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Cell phones.
But yeah, facts, you know what I mean? And I was a hip hop fiend. Like Thurston Howell says that he's like a hip hop fiend. Like I was a hip hop fiend. I still am a hip hop fiend. I love hip hop. Love the culture. I love what it's done. You know what I mean? Like it just feels like it was like an evolution of humankind kind of thing to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like yo, we stopped with this hip hop is the post-racial world. That's what it's supposed to be. It's hip hop. That's what it is. It was all like, it's a culture. It's a whole thing, a brotherness, a togetherness. Even if you're like on this side of the spectrum or that side of the spectrum, there was still like this thing that ties us all together because we grew up different. You know what I mean? We just grew up different. We grew up with a different mentality. We saw the world from a different perspective. You know what I mean? Like we weren't the old mentality. It was the new mentality. And it came from the bottom up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like that's respectable. It's real. It's truth. It's culture. Like that's fire. Like that's dope. So I was a hip hop head forever. And I break dance, and I, when I was a kid, bro, like I did them all to like the fullest degree I could. Nice. I mean, when I break dance until I got dope as fuck.
Okay.
You know what I mean? When I got into graffiti, like I got into graffiti till I got dope as fuck. You know what I mean? When I got into music, I fucking rocked as hell till I felt like I was dope as fuck or as dope as I could get. Okay. I took the ceiling. I went to the ceiling of what I felt like I can do with it. You know what I mean? It's like it's sculpting or something. You know what I mean? Like you do it for a while.
Yeah.
I used to sculpt too when I was a kid. You know what I mean? And I would get super focused, and I was really good about like, I wasn't great at it always.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I learned through like, especially through writing music, how to get disciplined to take a product from here to there and get it done.
So music pretty much laid the foundation for your workflow.
Yeah, and it taught me, it disciplined me. Because before that, I would do art projects and I would start them and maybe not finish them. And some I would finish, but it was always just like a different flow. It wasn't consistent. You know what I mean? Because what makes you like an artist, quotation mark artist, is that you're consistently making shit. Like if you're not consistently making shit, then you just made a piece of art. If you're not consistently making shit, you're not an artist. You might be an artist in skill, but like...
So you have to remember, what if you stop? Then you're not an artist until you start again.
I mean, you are like in your being or whatever, but I'm saying like in the professional sense.
Gotcha.
You understand what I'm saying? Like you're not an artist for a living.
Gotcha.
You understand? It's different. You know what I mean? Like there's plenty of people who are fucking fire artists that are firemen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they go home and they make some fire ass shit, and and maybe they are successful with it on whatever level, but they're not living off of that.
Got it.
You know what I mean? To live off of that, you got to be consistent.
Facts. You're right.
Especially if you want to be considered an artist. Other than that, you're a cog in the machine.
The air quotes.
Yeah. If not, you're caught in the machine. You know what I mean? Which is, that's cool too. Sometimes you got to get in the machine.
So let's go.
Okay, yeah, like continue on.
Let's go against the machine here.
Okay.
So were you always? Is that the way you think about film? Is that the way you approach? You're like against the machine?
No, I think films. I mean, the whole thing is a machine.
Yeah.
Itself, you know what I mean? And like films are like mass market product too. You know what I mean? Like there has to be an audience for a film. Mm-hmm. If not, why are you making a film? There's no audience for your film. Like you're making it for yourself. That's cool. Keep it in your phone. You know what I mean?
Keep it on your phone.
Yeah, like that's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like you're making a movie for an audience. There has to be an audience for what you're doing. If you want to make it, especially if you want to make it for a living. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If you want to make it and live off of that thing.
And that takes discipline.
It takes crazy discipline. Yeah. Like raising money for a movie and like getting it off the ground from like beginning to end, like feels like a blessing. And when it happens, it happens really fast. But when it's not happening, it's not happening. And like you're grinding for years trying to like, because sometimes it's not even about people not wanting to invest. It's about when they can invest or even when like it feels right in a sense.
Got it. So it's like the stars have to be in alignment for them at least.
Yeah, exactly. For everybody. It is. It's literally like writing, you know what I mean? Like you're seeing it once the stars get into the proper places, everything starts to get down. It's a lot of different people that have to like coordinate together. I don't know if you ever tried to plan like a trip with a bunch of people.
Yeah, it's a disaster.
It's tough.
It's potentially a disaster. And when you're dealing with big projects that are things you want to complete.
Absolutely.
So what was the first project that you worked on? What was your very first, I guess your first project, and what was your first film?
Bro, the first film like that I actually made that was my own, that like I could say I directed. Yeah. Was a video I made for my girlfriend's birthday. Okay. You know what I mean? This is like in like 1998. You know what I mean? Like I made this shit like kind of VCR style almost, you know what I mean? Where like it's like one thing you can't fuck up. You can't go back. It's not like today's shit. It's like on tape. It's analog.
Damn. You know what I mean? you were on a VCR to VCR?
Kind of, yeah. Something like that. It's like a little, kind of like a little push button thing that you have that they had at the school. Yeah. And I put that shit together, you know what I mean? And it came out like mad cohesive and like, and like it was cool. And because it told a story. Yeah. It was like cute. It was on like a 10-minute, 12-minute video, bro. And it was just like me. I'd undercover, like interviewed a bunch of our friends and like kind of just told our story, you know what I mean? Yeah. And like I had like drawings and all kinds of stuff. And I put them all in there. I made a documentary, bro. And it was like on tape to tape, like on some wild shit, just because I was just passionate about it and I wanted to do it. And like
that's passionate, bro.
Yeah, I was already on the trajectory of like I'm going to film school right now. I'm writing scripts in school, and I'm in the beginning of it. I shot a little bit of stuff, but we just shot test footage and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I'm like inspired to like do film and like, you know what I mean? I wanted to fucking blow my girlfriend's socks off that year. You know what I mean? And like give her a dope ass gift. You know what I mean? So I did that. It was a hit. It worked. That was the first time a Jokes flick ever appeared on film. Okay. You know what I mean?
Same logo?
Nah, not same logo. Nah, I didn't become that guy till later. But the first time I ever wrote it on the screen. Right. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, and I really loved it. You know what I mean? And like, and then whenever I go to film school, I made a bunch of stuff there. I made like, and cool stuff on 16 millimeter. And I learned how to shoot film, like actual film. Like we weren't shooting. I mean, we shot some video stuff to test out shit, but like we were shooting film.
Do you think film school still teaches film?
I mean, some do, and they'll have the classes for it because the equipment's there for that. And I'm sure some of them really, but they're not teaching you how to be a filmmaker with film. Like, there's no point in that anyway.
Yeah, facts. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, unless it's more about a look and cinematography and like a thing. So like, it's way more boutique now than it used to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a whole different conversation.
Whole different conversation.
I don't know enough to keep that conversation going, man.
Right. Yeah. We're going to like tech stuff at that point.
Yeah. Super techie.
Yeah.
I don't know enough.
Yeah. A little too deep in the shop.
I will, I know enough about the writer's strike. And things like that to support it, to be all for it.
Yeah.
But
I want to talk about that. Yeah, that's a great topic to talk about because I mean, I'm obviously on the side of the writers, even though I'm not a union member. You know what I mean? I'm for the writers and the actors. I'm not an actor, but I agree with them. Like, they should be doing that. That's the power they have. That's,
of course, they need to get paid.
Yeah, and the business needs to be legit, and you got to have some kind of struggle to figure it out, because I understand on the other side of it as a producer as well. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, in these moments, that's when, like, people like myself have an opportunity.
Okay.
Because we're not union members and we're kind of outside, and like we can still work with the union and actually still get our own films made because we're not part of the big studio system.
Got it. So
now we could be one of like a smaller batch of films that's, being able to be made. So as an independent producer, that's like a great situation for an independent producer to be in, and show that you can do fair deals with actors and the fair deal, because we can. Like, it ain't that crazy what they're asking for.
So what they're asking for is just a bigger slice of the pie from the film,
absolutely,
or from what the project is.
Yeah, it's just, what, man, people are. You just got to say what it is. They're kind of, everybody's riding on like, it just, like, we're not. It's not an era where like the networks are competing against each other like the way they were, like kind of like, so the whole market has changed, and people still kind of living on them old contracts. You know what I mean? Them old deals. And them old deals don't make sense in the new environment. Like, it's shifted too much.
Yeah. It's not only about AI.
Nah, man. Like, that's the least of it. And that's like the easiest stuff that kind of, to me, that's the easiest stuff, because at one point AI will be seen for what it's for, and it's just a tool. Like, chill. It's just a tool. Relax. You know what I mean? It's like anything else that comes out. Ooh, you know what I mean? It's a tool, and like, so far what I've seen, everything I've read and seen about it has been like super legit. Like, oh yeah, you can't copyright AI shit. It makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Okay, cool. If it's like a computer just making some rando shit, you know what I mean? How the fuck is that going to be copyrightable?
Very true.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know about the like ins and outs on that side of it, but I feel like people are treating it correctly. And I think at one point everybody will realize, hey, it's a cool little tool, especially to like start something.
Facts, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just to like,
it's a nice way to kickstart an idea.
Yeah, and it's gonna shift the market a bit. A lot of graphic designers, a lot of this, a lot of that. Yeah. It's gonna affect a lot of people, writers, everybody. Everybody's gonna be affected. Sure. But I personally don't see or fear it at all in any which way whatsoever.
Well, shoot, I wrote a screenplay on ChatGPT.
Right, I'm sure anybody could. Yeah.
The Last Dragon.
Right.
Part 2.
Part 2. It needed a part 2.
Yo, you ready?
Yeah.
Method Man is Shogun's master.
Of course.
And then he comes through to New York, and the whole shit, it asked me for parameters.
Right.
And as soon as I hit go, I have a whole movie typed up.
Last Dragon type part 2.
With Method Man as the Shogun's master.
Hey, I mean, and that's a cool tool to like go up to the people from The Last Dragon to say, hey, look, this is why you should make a sequel, and maybe you could pull a couple things from it.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And actually make a cohesive screenplay out of it. Because I don't know ChatGPT could probably do some amazing stuff, but like at one point, it's not going to be perfect just because it's not a human.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So no matter how much it mimics somebody else's shit, you know what I mean? Like, it's not.
It's always going to be a tool.
People will get sick of that too. You know what I mean?
I could see that, man.
People are gonna get sick of that too, because it's gonna be playing the same bells every time. You're like, in a way, it's like it makes filmmaking have to lean to be more human.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, to be less perfect, to be less
accept errors. Like, don't be such a perfectionist.
Maybe that's what that does. Maybe that as artists forces us to like, which it already does, because there is like, I mean, that's just part of being your brand and getting a visual style into something or whatever. You know what I mean?
So going back into the pay, that whole pay thing.
Correct.
It's a percentage, a bigger percentage per project, right? You
Yeah,
said
off
from
of
a
streaming.
so as a producer,
Right.
these are terms that you could make adjustments with before you start your project, or per contract or per person.
Yeah.
So where's the big deal here?
I mean, the big deal is that
Well, where's the holdout? Why would they hold out on so much? Like, it seems fair.
because all the networks overspent, so they realized they overspent, and like because of that, they're cutting, and with them cutting, a lot less people are working, and like it's kind of not fair, like the money that's being made compared to the money that's getting paid. Like they're getting away with old rules.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, yeah, before if you were on like on, commercial television or whatever, you're getting the most money ever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like now nobody's watching that
At all. It's
You know
all
what I mean?
streaming.
It's all that. So streaming is cable now. Like, so you're trying to make. So it's like, hey, you're not cable, like you're cable now.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you know what I mean? Like those are the rules you should be playing with. You're not streaming no more. Like you're cable because cable's done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Cable's like so on its way out.
It's been done. I don't even know who uses cable, or if cable is even.
I mean, I'm sure you live in a more modern households, but like, there's still a huge percentage, out there that is cable. You know what I mean? It might not be the biggest no more, but it ain't that small either.
Yeah, but even if you have cable TV, you're streaming.
Absolutely. So now cable TV is even in
That's what I'm
competition with.
Yeah.
So and streaming is winning because people are just moving to a more streaming lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So because of that, like they were earlier on, it was being tolerated to let streaming get a chance to catch on.
Got it.
You know what I mean? Like, you get a chance to do that. Like, you don't have to pay the cable fees. You can pay streaming fees. Ooh. You know what I mean? Cool. Let's do that. Because it's not the same.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's not the same.
I follow.
So it's like, all right, cool. We're going to tolerate it for a while to see where this market goes. Well, now it's bigger than the other market. So, hey, now you got to pay the cable rates. Because you're the big dog. You know what I mean? It's like, who lives in the master bedroom?
Yeah.
Streaming's living in the master bedroom right now, so they're paying the most. They need to be paying the most.
That's a great analogy.
You know what I mean? They're not paying the least. In the big pie of it, it's the master bedroom of the.
yeah, big time.
Yeah, so they're paying more. You know what I mean? They need to pay more. They're not.
There's no way around it.
I don't know. I don't know if they can. They definitely can. It's not a thing of that. It's just but who wants to give it up?
Yeah.
Who wants to give it up? You know what I mean? Like, but I mean,
you would think companies like Netflix, Disney, like shit.
I mean, I understand their side of it too, because like, think about it. If you're like, yo, we're making all this happen. You know what I mean? Like, without all this capital that we're risking, like, you guys ain't in the room playing around. I get it. I understand the mentality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I get that. But it don't matter. Like, that's the shit that's also, like, making it to have the capital.
So how would it work streaming? Just, like...
Well, the thing is, streaming is, like when they put something on cable, essentially what they do to keep it simple is, if it's a premium channel, whatever you paid on the premium channel, they're getting that thing and they're chopping that up and dividing it amongst all the people that they get their content from.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They're taking that little thing off the bill.
Okay.
They're using that to pay for that. And if they're on like a channel with commercials,
those commercials pay
for the content that's on the screen, for the movies or whatever. You know what I mean?
And everyone gets they get a percentage, a slice, however you want to dice it up to.
Right. Well, yeah, you get paid for like if you're like a writer or an actor, you get paid when either you wrote a script, or when you get paid there, and then when they play it, every time they would play it, you would get a piece of that revenue that came in.
Got it.
You know what I mean? And that's what would take care of you, at least in the TV world.
Okay.
You know, and similar to the independent world, you have a movie out there. If you own a chunk of it, you get a royalty that comes in. Just like people that do music and all that kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like you get your piece.
And it's crazy because you hear when artists in the music world, they say streaming money is whack. Like streaming money is really at a low point right now. Like at some point they're hoping that it catches up.
Right.
So, are movies working differently?
I mean, it's kind of it's very similar to that.
That's why they're striking.
Yeah, it's very similar to that.
Yeah.
Very similar to that. And so yeah, they're just having a problem. I mean, it's also like, you know, I think even with the unions too on their side, they might need to like rethink some of the rules as well. You know what I mean?
You think so?
I mean, maybe. I know they have like a lot of things where they're like forcing people to have certain things, and like I understand that too. And like maybe that's a good standard to be at.
Uh-huh.
But we're also like in a more modern time, so like I'm always a fan of like, yo, if you could reform it and make it more efficient, maybe make it easier for certain people to get in to the union, to actually be part of it, so they can like lower like if maybe they need a bigger membership, so you can have a little bit more power.
What is it, by invite only now?
Nah, it's not by invite. You have to like, but you got to pay to get in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, you know what I mean? And unless, you know, those checks are big. You know what I mean? So,
okay. So
to join them, you know,
there's definitely an advantage to be part of them.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's the standard. Like you want to be, you know, you want to be a union writer. That's like, that's a form of excellence in a sense in this business as well.
Okay.
Because it means that people like on bigger scale things paid you the right for them. You know what I mean? So that's a notch on your belt as a writer. That's where you want to be. You're an independent writer. You're more like me, like a director too. Like director, I never pushed hard to be in union because I also produce my films. Got it. So like it's an edge for me to like not be union and have to pay out all that extra money. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I don't know what the disadvantage to me it is because I've always been independent and you know what I mean? Like that's always been your road. Yeah, like it's been my road ever since I got off of stopped working in television. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like when I stopped working in television, I was completely freelance. Like, you know what I mean? I just got to do art projects all the time. You know what I mean? That's how I felt about it. Just get to do art projects all the time, every day. I don't have to do, you know what I mean? Like,
well, some of your projects have like this artistic flair, like Eeny Meeny Miny Mo.
Yeah, that was a dope ass project. My first movie.
Well, that shit was bananas.
Thank you. Yeah, I
mean, I explained it to a friend of mine. Yeah. And it's one thing that I've seen it, one thing to have read about it. Right. But when you hear yourself say what goes on in that flick, you're like, damn, yo, that's a lot to unpack.
It's a lot. I mean, that movie's like kind of like my real film school. Like when I went to film school, I never even really finished, but like it wasn't like a big program. Like they didn't teach you like everything you really needed to know. They're a bad school. It was amazing what I learned, but the true benefit was having guidance and having people that you meet that are also filmmakers. That was like the big advantage of going to film school, period. The education was what you got out of it because I devoured everything about it once I caught on. Once I knew where to find it and what I was looking for, like I was devouring knowledge on it. And I knew more than the other guy in my class that was taking it more for fun than I was. You know what I mean?
Wow. Okay.
You know what I mean? So,
and it's because you went on these missions to just learn as much as you could.
Yeah, like, well, I mean, in the beginning, I really was more of a writer. That was like, I remember I was telling you, like, I got discipline learning how to write. And like, once I got that discipline, like I could sit down and focus and write some shit. And I had a lot of ideas for movies all the time. Always had an idea for a movie. You know what I mean? And I did it as a kid. Like I used to help. I wouldn't shoot stuff. I would act in stuff with my boy Jay Bishop. That's like in all my stuff. You know what I mean?
Bishop, yeah.
Yeah, he's like one of the best actors I've ever seen in my life. You know what I mean? Like he's just like an incredible talent. as of a person, like the dude's been a character his whole entire life, and like, you know what I mean, and like whatever.
He's hysterical, man.
Yeah, dude, come on. Yeah, he's on another level. He's definitely on another level. So whatever. Since way back then, and now in that time, I'm like writing screenplays, and that's really like where at first, like my focus was. Like I just wanted to learn how to write screenplays, and then I started taking the film classes, and I learned how to shoot everything, and and like I was like a fish in water. It was the best. Like it was amazing to me, like how easy it came. I remember I was in school originally, like learning how to do music, because I wanted to get into those classes, but I wasn't into it. Like I got into film. Wow. Like the music was cool. Like I felt like it was a lot of effort on my part to get it to be good. You know what I mean? I felt like it took a lot out of me. Versus film, it was like I felt like I never fully understood the music shit, like how to conquer the music shit, like how to make great songs, all that shit, to like make it myself.
But film, you just caught it.
When I filmed, bro, I was like, I swear I learned how to edit like in 30 minutes. I just everything felt intuitive. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's spooky. It's a spooky feeling. Spooky. It is a spooky feeling when you're like, oh wow, I kind of understand this like really quickly. You know what I mean? So like, that's when I knew it was in college. It's when I knew. Calling. Yeah, I was like, oh, this is my shit. Like all the stuff I learned in art, all the stuff I learned from graffiti, all the stuff I learned from like doing little criminal shit, all the stuff like all the stuff, like everything, the music, everything that I played around with, and like, studied as a kid, even the breakdancing and all that kind of stuff like that, and going to parties, and that whole journey, everything in my life felt like, boom, like, oh wow, this is what I'm supposed to do. And everything informed into it.
It just came together.
Yeah, and after that, I was just like 100 miles an hour, and like luckily, I always stuck with it. Yeah, never quit.
And that's something you could easily be discouraged.
What?
Man,
dude, there's like yearly times where you're like, should I really keep doing this? Like, nah. But it is in a way, you know what I mean? Because yeah, there's times where like it gets tough, bro. It gets really, really tough, especially being independent. Because yeah, you can go work, and I work for a lot of other people. You know what I mean? I work with and for a lot of other people. You have to, like, that's the nature of the game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just be like, I'm not going to Warner Brothers to like make my movie. Yeah. Or at least usually I'm not. Usually it's an opportunity that comes up because someone's got a bag and it's like, let's just go.
Got it.
You know what I mean? It's not because, I'm going to pitch this thing to these guys or do that. It's
because the bag's there.
But they're there. They come around. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to say no. Those are the homies. How are you going to say no?
Of course.
Like, would you rather work with your homies or go meet with some strangers and maybe it comes out good?
This is true.
You can work with your homies and maybe it comes out good.
Yeah. And you're in control.
Yeah, and you're in your control, and and all your peoples are eating and all that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, keep it homegrown, like the way they do it. Like, I lived in LA. I saw how it was out there. They took care of home team big time.
How so? Give me an example.
Bro, they got jobs. They're getting jobs. People are working. If you're a hustler, bro, you're going to get a job. If you're a hustler in LA, bro, you can get jobs, bro. Like hustling in LA is not, it's like more set up to hustle. Yeah. Yeah, it's more set up to hustle. Yeah, it's way more set up to hustle. There's places to go. You can knock on doors. You're not knocking on doors out here. No. You gotta know a guy almost. You know what I mean? Yeah, no. It's almost you gotta know a guy kind of thing.
Yeah, it's always you gotta know a guy.
Yeah, it's like a guy. You gotta know a guy. It's a different. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's that out there too, but you can knock on a lot of doors. There's traditionally been a lot more opportunity out there, especially for actors, especially for writers.
I know that there's always a story about an actor or actress that they're working at at a restaurant as a waiter, and they're doing the shows or auditions.
Half of the service economy probably in Los Angeles are actors that are like working their regular job because they're working their regular job and they're acting.
Got it.
You know what I mean? So like pretty much every restaurant is filled up with a bunch of actors and coffee shops and you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you just go everywhere, you're gonna meet actors. They're everywhere. You know what I mean? There's a lot of them. They pull up there, but there's great schools there for them. You know, there's great education tools for them. There's a lot of places where they can like, hey, you want to go rehearse? You can put up a post, and like 10 people probably want to go rehearse with you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So for
not so much.
No, you're not getting that out here. It's tough. It's rare breeds out here. There's rare breeds. You know, and everybody's a little bit more tribal out here. Even though I think it's pretty tribal out there too. Don't get me wrong. Like everywhere's tribal,
but when it comes down to the arts, you know, it really is kind of tribal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, everywhere it's tribal. Everything is tribal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Everything's tribal.
Everyone's in their own shit.
Yeah, you know, everybody. But still, like, you know, but no matter what, like, you can't get nothing accomplished without like tribes working together. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the fact.
Yeah, I mean, Miami is like that though.
Yeah,
always like heavy.
I just think everywhere is like that in a different way. You know what I mean? Some places you might have a little more opening in one department. You know, and in other places you might have another. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. But damn.
But yeah, even though, you know, I was actually out, and when I was out in LA just recently, I went to like this like homeless camp in like Ventura County. And like I actually filmed some stuff there. And like we went to an area where it was more like, because it's like there's one that goes into Ventura County. It's like a very long stretch along this like sewage canal kind of thing. And there's like all these people living there. And
how bad is it? Is it that bad that
it's a little Mad Max, you know what I mean? Like,
oh my God.
Like, not to make light of it or whatever. Like, even though the area where I went to, excuse me, the area where I went to was a lot of like immigrant families. You know what I mean? That like are probably here illegal or whatever, and that are like hustling, and they're like they're gonna get, you know what I mean? They're gonna get out of there. There's some of that, you know what I mean, mixed in with some people that probably have drug problems, you know, whatever, you know, a lot of, you know, the more typical homeless kind of people, you know what I mean, like kind of mixed in with them. It was like very much camp kind of vibe, like, you know, maybe it's more camped out. It wasn't one of these you know, like downtown LA, like everything like everybody on top of each other kind of thing.
One
like,
corner or one note.
It was more like stretched out, and then there was areas that were a little bit more dense, and then there was areas that were like very sparse. You know what I mean?
How was it? Like, well, when you went there to film, what were you filming for?
We were filming some clips for a music video for this like Mexico regional artist, and like part of the story was about this guy who kind of, it was more of like you know, the song doesn't explain it or whatever. It's more for like the feeling of things. You know what I mean? And it was like, in the song, like the guy's supposed to go off and like goes off, because the song has like kind of the story about this guy who goes off on this like quest, you know what I mean, to like prove to his mother that he can like be a worthy man kind of thing, like, and make money.
Oh wow.
Like that's what the song kind of is about, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So like in the video, we wanted to create the feeling that he goes to this other place, and like that's where he like has to like, you know, like that's the visual representation of the other place that he goes to. Is to be in this like little camp where like all
homeless
these
people,
with all these homeless people, mostly immigrants.
That's rough, man.
It was mostly immigrants. It was wild. They had like tent mansions. It was
tent mansions.
Yeah, it would be like a big mansion, like almost like the size of like a small house, and it would be like a bunch of different tents like put together, and they're kind of booby traps. So if you try to like jump through the tent, because it's just like some parts of the tent are just like those what's it called, like the tarps and stuff like that, like pieces of tarps or whatever, and like literally had doors. They have laid down foundations.
What?
Yeah, it was like,
that's bugged out.
Yeah, they even had like started making like little yards, like making a little division, like this is my yard, because these were more spread out. Like I said, it's not like densely packed where people are just like, oh, that's, you know, like it's not people on top of each other. Like this is like a little bit more spread out.
Well, they need to anything for a sense of normalcy, right?
Yeah. You gotta have somewhere to live, bro.
Yeah, man.
You gotta live somewhere. You gotta sleep somewhere. You know what I mean? Where you're gonna feel safe. You know what I mean? At least somewhat safe.
Yeah.
At least safe for the environment, like, you know, from the night or whatever.
Yeah. I'm safe for the environment.
So yeah, I mean, so it was pretty wild seeing that. That was pretty crazy.
Damn.
And like seeing the homeless problem in LA, like it's a real problem. Like compared to Miami, like that's just a problem. And Miami has it, but it's not, and it's bad and all that. And don't get me wrong, like I'm not, but LA shit is like way more out of control.
Well, it's the border.
No, LA's not the border. San Diego's the border, but you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's just there's just way too many people there. You know what I mean? Just way too many people there, bro. Way too many people there.
Shit.
That's really what I think. There's just way too many people there. Like, I almost feel like the government might even be like hands off on the state and just kind of like, oh, just let that shit run wild, so people get the fuck out of here.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Like,
You're trying to lower property value.
I mean, I don't know if they're trying to lower property value because it's so high out there that it's still, you know, whatever it is. But I just think they're just like, yo, like, almost better to let people leave. Mm-hmm. And like, because definitely LA would feel like a much better vibe, I think. Like, being a little smaller, being a little more comparable to like a Miami rather than what it is. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you know, 4 times bigger than us.
Yeah, it's ginormous.
It's big and everybody's going there.
Listen, man, I was only in LA once. I was only in Cali once, and I saw traffic at 6 o'clock. Oof. That was enough for me to be like, I'm never like this is not somewhere I wanna. I my sanity was having issues. Yeah, like it's enough to drive people insane.
I mean, it makes it to me what like one of the downsides to me in LA is like, especially when you live there, is you tend to like, and it's not a bad thing either. You tend to be like more like, I don't want to get out of my area. Yeah, like I just want to function within my little area to like get on a highway, but like once you're out there, you're ready to go 90-minute trip no matter what.
Yeah, you're trying to avoid that at all costs.
Yeah, you start doing it because like, you know, it just wastes a lot of time of the day. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know, that always felt like kind of weird and like not like I didn't like the fact that I didn't want to. I like going across town. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But I'm sure you don't like spending an hour and a half trying to do it.
Not every moment of the day.
No way, man.
Not till like only. You know.
So, what was your next project?
The next project right now we're working.
Well, before we get to that, my apologies. Okay. So, we went Eeny Meeny Miny Mo.
You're right. That was like
your first movie film.
I did, yeah.
Right, and then. From there, you've had your own a few other projects.
Oh yeah, I've done a ton of projects since then. Yeah.
So, I've seen Briefcasing. Suitcasing. Yeah. Super funny. Yeah. That's on Amazon. I saw it on Amazon, right?
Yeah, it is. It is on Amazon.
Toyed.
I did Toyed. Yeah.
Toyed. The other. What would you consider Toyed? Like a short film?
It's a short film. It was a proof of concept for a feature. But it was a little bit different from like the way I would do the feature, but it definitely was a proof of concept for a feature. Like, got it.
So Toyed was really dope.
Yeah, and that went around the world. I'm real proud of what that movie did.
That's dope, yo.
Yeah, it went around the world.
That's really
dope.
Played
in a lot of different places.
How far? What's the furthest that your work has gotten? That you've been said
film festivals wise. I know I had one of my films. I don't remember. I think it might have been Brass Knuckles or one of these short films that I did. I definitely had it play in like Africa, and I got a certificate. What? From like some African film festivals or whatever.
That is dope.
I thought that was cool. You know what I mean? And like, but like for Toy, like the one there's like a graffiti street art film festival in France, and I've always like loved you know, if anybody had the old spray can art books, yeah, there's always been like fly graffiti from France. Yeah, it was always around. Being a guy who would always like, I was a graffiti head. You know what I mean? Like,
what was the name of that book?
It was like spray can art. I think it was the one that had like the Paris section in it. Yeah, that it was like, oh wow, and they had some fire pieces. Like they were super good. And obviously, like the whole street art movement came from Paris as well. You know what I mean? Or France. Like that was where like it got big fast.
Yeah, everywhere. Like there's been videos as of late. Yeah. Paris, France. Right. Because of the amount of graffiti. I mean, yeah. I think it is. I don't have nothing against it.
I mean, it's still like art run amok, and I love it. You know what I mean? And like all of it, all that shit. Like I like all that shit. Like I'm a fan of all that because like I like that. Like graffiti spirit, like never left me. I always liked that the spirit of graffiti. They're like, nah, you're gonna see this shit. You know, like boom, I'll put that right there. Like,
I'll put it exactly where you're gonna turn and you're gonna see it in your face.
Yeah, it was never no gang shit. It was always some hip hop shit. Like for me at least, it was always some hip hop shit.
Word.
You know what I mean? So that's why that that Toyd was like another project that I have. That's like in development, that I'm working with producers and we're meeting with people. I've had it in development for a long time since I made that short film. Yeah. But it's gone through like different, like I had an opportunity originally to shoot that movie, which is called Boom. That's the title of the movie. To shoot that movie, if I would switch the whole cast, it was like all girls. Do stuff like that.
Oh, man.
So I got some opportunities that were there were offers, whatever, but like, I didn't like that. You know what I mean? I didn't want to do that. Because part of it has to be the authenticity. Like if you switch it, you know what I mean? Like it's not.
It loses that.
It loses that. And that's like a compromise that like, if I really wanted to get the movie done and I really want that message of that film, and just use that vehicle for it, it was there. But I didn't really feel that was appropriate. And it still wasn't, like I didn't even take it even, I took it even less serious when I saw that opportunity wasn't even like a guarantee I get to make it.
Okay.
Because it's only a partial of it. You know what I mean? It's not like they're like, oh, I'll give you all the money. It's like, we'll put this behind it if it was this.
Got it. But
you know what I mean? But I still need all that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they're like, well, maybe we can find that. So it's like, I'm going to change it all up to risk it. It's like, nah, I got the original. And I stuck to my guns with it in a sense. You know what I mean? From all the different things that got, like, I stuck with my guns with it. And I did. And I put my work on it hard. Like, me and Jay Bishop, because he wrote the script with me. Like, we took it. And he wrote Toy with me. And, like, you know what I mean? Like, and we took it to, like, we took Toy and the feature Boom. We put it through this, like, writing circle thing that they had. That was, like, a bunch of writers. We would do, like, readings of the scripts. And, like, other people could hear, like, your script. To see what it sounds like, other writers. So you can learn from each other. You know what I mean?
That sounds like a really interesting exercise.
It was dope. It was fire. I loved it. That was like me and this dude Jay. We loved going to that. It was like super dope, and it was like really good for like understanding the process of like, like revising and polishing your like script. You know what I mean? Like you get to do that, and like you knew when it worked because everybody laughed in the room.
And you know when it didn't.
And you know when it didn't, that it didn't land right. So you get a sense for it. So it was great. I loved it. It was dope. And like, I felt, and the movie definitely, reading my movie in that thing, solved a couple little problems. And I saw like how that raw version of it was still really good. Okay. Where people are excited. Even if people are telling you their own idea of what you should do, but usually if people are telling you what you should do, they love it. You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because they're like into it. They felt it all. You know what I mean? Yeah. If they can tell you this is what you should do, like that means they liked it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're right.
You know what I mean? Because now you got all the info. Now, I'm not saying on a professional basis, but more like.
Yeah, but I mean that's a good sign.
As a vibe, you know what I mean?
That's a good sign that they vibe to it.
Or at least they see like the potential and the this and the that, and they can see that, and like so they understood it, they liked it, the message got across. You know what I mean? So so you see if something works, and if it works, like boom, you kept it. You know what I mean? And it was dope, and it was great, and like we got to workshop Boom and Toyd at the same time way back then. But this is right before I make Toyd. Okay. And I make Toyd, whatever. I put it in film festivals. Not a crazy run of short films at that time. I was just doing a bunch of short films. I was working to do Cyril DePazio. We did the little Mob King web series.
Yeah, I want to talk about that too.
Yeah, we did we threw the brass knuckles on the table. We did that one. We did the Silent Partners pilot. So that was like a pilot for a TV show. Then we did a Mob King pilot, which then morphed into a movie because it just made better business sense to like shift it into a movie because it was already like you almost got a whole movie shot because you have a pilot. Oh
yeah, the other it seems like a small series that was almost a big movie.
Right. Yeah. That's it is a movie. It is a movie that's supposed to be a series of movies. You know what I mean?
Got it.
So you know what I mean. So it's like why not just turn the pilot into a movie, and we did that, and that was cool, and like that's been successful. It did actually really really well. It's awesome. Being watched. It just got on Tubi right now.
Nice.
It was on. It was on Apple TV. It's on Amazon. It's on all the streaming platforms.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, it was on Must See Movies with Mario Lopez. So yeah, that's,
that was a bit bugged out to see Mario Lopez. Dude. Just to see Mario Lopez's name pop.
You had to be talking about the movie you shot. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Bugged out. Yeah, it's so bugged out.
Yeah, it's a cool little
Slater.
Right. So
that's dope, man. That's really
cool.
dope.
Yeah, that was cool, and that's that. We had a killer party at the Hard Rock at the Dare Club or whatever. We had a killer premiere party for it. It was nuts. It was cool. Nice. I liked it. I thought it was a good vibe.
Yo, so Mob King, you did it. Because Mob King, I remember watching the series. And the series that it was on YouTube.
It was on Facebook. It never got on YouTube. It was never on YouTube. It was only on Facebook.
I think someone put it on YouTube or something.
Oh, I'm sure it got bootlegged onto YouTube.
I saw it on YouTube. I don't know how, but it was I found it.
Good.
I got to watch it.
Okay.
It was super.
You sure
dope.
It wasn't a Vimeo link? Because I have my Vimeo link attached. So I still do.
No,
it's your
Vimeo.
Them shit's got
It could be your Vimeo.
480,000 views. Like, what the fuck? Like,
yo, I saw it, and then it had to be
Yeah,
I think
on
it was
the private Vimeo links, not even on the
Vimeo.
Because he used to post them.
Yeah.
Because we would post a private Vimeo link and we would put them up on Facebook.
Okay.
That was the way that we would,
For me, let me tell you.
That's the way we put it out. And the Facebook numbers were crazy. Like, crazy.
That is dope. Let me tell you. It's, I believe it. Because it's a dope series.
Yeah, thank you.
And, damn, was that? I have to ask you when I turn this off.
What?
I'll edit it out.
Edit it out. I don't care.
So, did he purposely at the end put the girl in his way when he got shot at? So in the web series, before you went big, before you went into the other one.
Okay, got you.
Okay,
I don't care. You can leave this if you want to. This is like deep cut shit.
All right. So,
deep cuts.
Let me tell you. All right. So.
Right. No, he definitely does not. That never was intended in the series.
Yo, it looked like he straight up put her in the way. Like, I stopped it. I go, no. I was invested, yo. I stopped it. I went back, and I was like, he did it on purpose, yo. Right. He grabs her.
Right, yeah, he does.
He put it. I was like, yo, this he just did this. He just grabbed the girl like, oh, I love. Gun, get him. Got a shield.
No, Candy was the stripper with the heart of gold. That's what she was. That was her character in a sense. She was like the girl that was kind of like, you know what? I'm kind of done with this life. I don't know. I tried it out. It's not working out for me.
Oh man.
I'm just gonna go back home and like.
So you ended it.
So
she's got to go.
Well, I'm saying, that was the idea that, someone would die.
Trying to get out.
In someone trying to get to Mike White. You know what I mean? That someone would die.
Got it.
You know what I mean? And because of his thing, and that would trigger in him to like, oh, you know what? You guys want me to go to the dark side? Then fucking I'm going to the dark side. Let's do it.
So that's what would have started his real dark side right there. Would have kickstarted everything.
Right in the web series, correct? Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I feel gypped.
That's how it was. That's how it was.
Gypped.
I mean, that's what happens. That's the journey that he starts to go on in that web series as it continues going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that event triggers
everything else.
You know what I mean? And then, and he will get himself involved in a bunch of shit and get revenge for Candy eventually. You know what I mean?
Did he do that?
We never got that far because after we did like 5 episodes, a company from Europe dropped some bread to like option to turn it into like a big TV show.
Oh, wow.
Like they literally just like threw money at it. Yeah. So then we had paused there on Mob King, and we were like, all right, we're not going to make any more of them because it doesn't make any sense because this company just sent us some money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, now.
Right.
Now you got to work with them.
Well, yeah, now if we're going to do stuff, we got to do other stuff. We got to create new pieces.
Uh-huh.
So then because there was still some residual bread that this guy had invested into the projects, we turned around, we did a short film called Brass Knuckles.
Okay. Which
is to be a little bit more comedy, a little more like more indie film vibe piece.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's a comedy, a little bit of a dark comedy.
Okay.
And utilize some of the people from the Mob King cast that we thought were standouts, and we were like, hey, let's do this piece, and it worked. And we, and also worked with some other actors too. Nice. Do something different, not do the same like bring it more to like a family kind of thing.
So after Brass Knuckles, did you do? You came back to Mob King.
Well, okay. So eventually, we do in between that. Then we start developing this other pilot for this thing called Silent Partners.
Okay.
And we shot that.
This all has this mob.
Oh yeah, feel. All that stuff is the stuff I'm doing with Cyril. You know what I mean? That's like all like Cyril Paggio Productions products. You know what I mean? Like that's his brand that I hope bring to life. You know what I mean?
Yo, it sounds like a whole universe of mob life.
Well, I mean, he's one of the big clients. You know what I mean? He's one of the clients that's consistently doing work. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he does a good job of like finding the money, which is the hardest part to get done. You know what I mean? He does the work. He makes the shit happen. You know what I mean? You gotta respect that. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Hey, you can find the money, bro. I'm grinding with you. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
And let me tell you, it's just such a dope little world he created with his vision, right?
Yeah, he's definitely like on course to create like his own, brand. He's kind of done it already in like in a smaller scale. You know what I mean? Like
like it could be a whole. He created his own.
Yeah, like
Godfather world.
Yeah, his own little brand kind of around it. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't like sit there and like he's not the dude selling the old mob stories. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, because like, he was a smaller piece of it. He's more of a person that studied it or whatever. It's like, like anybody else. Like, like I love rap. I didn't become a big rapper.
Yeah, but
I might have done some rap shit. You know what I mean? But I wasn't a big rapper. So like, you don't sell that. But if you feel like you have a talent to act and you can portray that shit the right way, and people always thought you did, and like, why not? Like,
of course,
it's more of it's a character that you're creating.
Yeah.
I mean, he even changed his name from his original name to that name in order to make sure it's like pretty obvious. It's like a character in a sense, you know what I mean? And like, you know what I mean? So like, it's he's doing his thing. And you know what I mean? I respect dudes with hustles, you know what I mean? And like, he's gone through a lot, bro. He's gone through a lot, bro. A lot.
Well, shit.
That's a dude. That's a survivor, motherfucker. He's gone through a lot.
Well, I bet, man.
That's a survivor.
Shout out to Cyril.
Huh? Shout out, because the dude fucking grinds. Yes, like, the dude is a grinder.
So we have to have a Mob King episode.
Well, so eventually, after we did Silent Partners.
Yeah.
I don't remember what exactly triggered it, because we had thought about. I think there was at one point that deal was gonna get, like any negotiations. Mm-hmm. I think something got thrown into the mix where they were like, and this is like fairly early in, because I expected it to go way faster than what started happening, because it kind of stalled really quickly at one point. This is very early on too.
Okay.
And there was a term that I don't even know what it was, because I wasn't involved in that part of it. I don't even know what it was, but this guy came back to me hot about, hey, we're gonna pick back up a Mob King, and we already had kind of designed a Mob King season 2. We were gonna stop at 5, and then make like a season 2 and make another 5 episodes like we did before. Oh man,
that would have been great.
And that's what we're gonna do. We had been writing the stories to break them off. And I remember when we were coming up with the Bible of the stories that we're gonna do. I came up with a new idea that I was like trying to make it fit, but it made a way better introduction of the character than I felt the original one did. The original one is good too, and I love the web series version of it, but like times have changed a little bit, so we wanted to like, not only times have changed, but it was just it was an interesting way to do it. It was more like contained and feasible, and like not the way you would do it in a 8-minute episode.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it's a little more. There's more character development.
It's more fleshed out.
Yeah, it's more fleshed out, and there's a way to do it that we thought would be interesting. So we liked it.
So you went in and knowing you had 8 minutes, you had to compact a lot of.
Yeah, you're compacting a lot of story.
You're trying to establish a lot of things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're just like you're just giving things out a little faster. You're not doing a lot more character development. You're doing a lot less like in the moment stuff.
Versus how much more time do you have now?
Well, now it became a 90-minute piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah, wild.
You know what I mean? It's supposed to, at least when we originally approached it, was supposed to be an hour-long piece. Mm-hmm. So this is later on, we decided we were going to go now with this new idea of the pilot. Mm-hmm. And so there was some more money that came in that was like, yo, we're gonna shoot it now the way it's supposed to be done for Spain. The deal that's over in Europe, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, we're gonna shoot the pilot how it's supposed to be done, mm-hmm. so we could like budget it to shoot it over there. Okay. We're supposed to go shoot it over there.
Wow. Okay.
That was a deal that was getting brokered. Okay. While we were sitting on making all these other projects. Okay. You know what I mean? So we end up shooting this pilot. You know what I mean? And, you know, this guy flies out there, boom, COVID hits, shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
Everything changes, bro. COVID changed everything.
It did.
You know what I mean? So now this pilot, you know, you're hoping comes out by the, by the fall. You still got to shoot half of it. Shoot the first half.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You still shoot the second half of it. And like now COVID's hit. You're sitting on there's the clock running, and that's just sitting in the can. You know what I mean? So then it was like, what the fuck do we do with that? It's like, you know, like, what are you gonna do with it? And it had great shit in it, great stuff in it. Shot so great, it's killed it.
What did you do?
So then, time was ticking with that. Deals were going down, whatever. All kinds of shit happened, and there was a way for us, without breaching contract or whatever, for how far they had gotten or whatever, to be able to finish it, like we could do whatever we wanted with the pilot that was shot. Like, we owned it. Mm-hmm. They didn't own it, so we owned it. So this guy was like, "Yo, I like my performances in the movie. There's like some production value stuff that we did in that movie that like would cost like hundreds of thousands of dollars to execute, that we got for, you know, the hustle." Mm-hmm. For a favor, you know what I mean? Like, to recreate that would cost so much more money.
Okay.
So we finished the pilot and turned it into like a movie.
Whoa.
You know what I mean?
So you just kept going with it.
Yeah, we just kept going with it. You know what I mean? And instead of doing what the original plan was, where it was going to cut off and you're going to do like a jump in time, and it was going to be these people in Europe, mm-hmm. and you don't know what happened in between. Mm-hmm. I mean, that would be stuff that get revealed later on in the story. We shot the stuff that actually happened in between.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Got it. That's where you can utilize it.
Well, yeah. So that's essentially we made this big pilot, and now it's out there like in the movie world.
That's dope. That is so dope, man. Yeah.
You know, and he's got a big following, bro. He has a big following, and they love it, and they love his shit, and I love his fans. His fans are fire, bro. I love his fans. His fans are so dope. They're like the dopest people always, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's
people love mobs, man. Like, that mob mentality, the mob genre is fan base dope, is like, man. Yeah. Bro, that's like, the genre is a different world.
Yeah, they're like the nicest and they're the coolest in the world, and like they get it and they show respect, and it's cool. That's and I like all that shit. And like, yeah, there's, you know, and there's different characters within it, and like anything else, you know what I mean? But it's a great fan base, and the people that like this guy's stuff is particularly like are just really great fans. They're just, you know, and they show up. They show up.
And what else? What's the next project after Mob King? Because I know that you've been working on a couple things.
Yeah. So right now I have a short film called The Cherry Picker that I'm finishing up. That we're like in post production for it right now.
Okay. And what's that about?
That's about a writer that steals his story for his new hit TV show.
Okay. So that's as far as we go.
I mean, that's all you need to. That's all you need to know. You know what I mean? That's all you need to know.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
He's got a secret. You know what I mean?
Okay. So, I mean, so if anyone wants to listen to, wow, if anyone wants to see any of the work that you've done, what's the best way to see it?
I mean, there's stuff on like all the streaming platforms or whatever, but like.
So what's on streaming? Let's start there. Where could we find some of your flicks?
Bro, right now, Eeny Meeny Miny Mo in English and in Spanish.
Okay.
And Mob King are all on Tubi right now. All of them are on Tubi right now.
Word.
But they're on Apple. They've been on all the streaming platforms.
Okay.
Like right now, Mob King just got the Tubi. But AM3's been on there for like 5 years.
Is a web version of Mob King still available on your Vimeo?
Yeah, it is. The links are still out there.
Oh, so you have to have the links to be able to see it.
No, you can find it. It is bootlegged on YouTube. I know it for a fact, for sure. I mean, it's not. You probably could find it on Vimeo. Like if you just searched it on Vimeo, because it's open, it's public.
Damn, I gotta see that.
They're cool. I love them, and there's a lot of great work in that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
I'm telling you, he threw the chick in front of him, bro.
I don't know. He wasn't supposed to, but
he wasn't until they shot at him.
Right. You're trying to do it like the Ronald Reagan shoot a little bit. You know what I mean? Like.
Yo, so what okay, so what did you work on the Montana short?
Yeah, I produced that.
Word. So tell me a little bit about the Montana short.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, basically, Aaron, who directed Magic City Memoirs, and I edited his movie.
Okay.
You know what I mean, we've always worked together. I also helped him produce the Joe Robbie documentary that we did.
Yeah.
That premiered at the Miami Film Festival. Yes. And that's making some moves or whatever. And then, and like with the Montana thing, he's one of my clients too. They're one of the like people I work with a lot.
That's what's up.
You know what I mean? And we put that together, kind of like, you know, low key as low key as possible.
It was super low key. It just dropped. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, it was a.
So
Aaron had an idea, and he had like there's a, like a bridge possibilities of things, and like he wanted to do that, and I was like, yeah, I'll support you, bro. Like I support a lot of people, you know what I mean, like all the time. I'm always.
What's the premise of Montana?
Montana's premise is that Tony Montana had a son.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a son that when the what's it called, the wife of Tony Montana or whatever. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank on her name, Michelle Pfeiffer or whatever. When Michelle Pfeiffer takes off. She would have taken off pregnant.
Oh.
So then, she would have died while he was young. You know what I mean? As a teenager, and like, just being in like slums and whatnot, and he ends up going through life not knowing that he had an inheritance left behind for him.
Oh my God! That's insane. So
that was the premise of it, in a sense. And,
that is dope.
And and he comes, and the character comes to Miami, and like basically gets to, do whatever things he's gonna do with the inheritance that got left behind. You know what I mean? Wow. But there's, it's like the fantasy of it's like the Willie Falcone fantasy that somebody buys a house and they're gonna renovate a room or something. They break it open, the walls are full of cocaine.
Oh my God! There's so much money in
coke. Like
so that. where could we find the Montana flick?
It's on YouTube on the Only in Dade.
Only in Dade channel. Yeah,
and if you I'm pretty sure if you just like look for Scarface fan film, I'm sure you'll find it like super quick.
Yeah. Yeah,
and that's cool, and that's an interesting like market to go in, like the whole like fan film as a testing ground to see if it could become like a real thing. You know what I mean? And like market it.
But where would be the fine line when someone says, "Yo, let's make this a big thing"?
Well, like you gotta think about it. Like Cobra Kai, is like, you know what I mean, like that idea that, like a lot of people, a lot of people have that idea, and like a lot of people want to celebrate the original Karate Kid, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And and they had an interesting take on it, and when you get the two real people to be part of it, it's like, oh cool, and like now it's a successful television series.
Yo, did you know that kid rhymed?
Who?
Man, his name eludes me now, man. But all right, so the new Danielson, the Latin kid.
Yeah.
He rhymes.
Yeah, I'm sure of it. Yeah, everybody raps nowadays.
He came out on Sway.
Oh yeah, and he did a freestyle.
Yeah, the kid was dope.
Come on, man. Everybody used to rap, dog. Everybody rap.
Everybody rapping now, man.
Yeah, everybody can rap now.
Cobra Kai rapping.
Cobra Kai, yeah. I mean, he's trying to be relevant to now or whatever, but it's like essentially made it into like a family show, which is interesting.
Yeah.
They took like a teenager movie and then turned it into a family show.
Right?
You know, that's cool. I like that. I think that's cool. I mean, Daniel did grow up in the movie series. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the first 3 parts, he like went from a teenager to a grown man.
He did.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he did. He really did.
Yeah.
You had to go through emotions.
But it was cool to go through the Johnny perspective because that's like a thing that people don't really think about, and like it became such a classic that, you know, it's almost like a joke that you would hear like in the popular zeitgeist. Yeah, but you don't know Johnny's story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like. You know what I mean?
It was like the Karate Kid's really the bully.
Right.
You remember that flick?
Right. Yeah.
I saw.
I mean, that's kind of the premise of the
guy. What's the actor's name that played David LaRusso?
Damn, bro.
You know who I'm talking
about.
Ralph Macchio. I saw him at the Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah?
And I told him, yo, so what do you think about that video that's floating around? He's like, yo, in no way, shape, or form was I the bully, bro. Right. And he had mentioned it was before Cobra Kai came out.
Right.
And he had mentioned something's coming down the pipe. I can't say anything, but watch, fans are gonna love it.
Right.
Cobra Kai blew up, bro.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting take. It's a different.
It really is.
Yeah, they go like, oh, now this guy ruined his life.
I would have liked to see him as a bully, though, man.
No, it even makes sense in the whole, like, if it's like a karate movie, because you know what I mean? Like, oh, this guy did this to this person, so now he's got to come back and get revenge. And, like, it's a different era, it's a different dynasties, all that kind of stuff. Why not? I thought it was clever, too.
It is. It's cool.
I mean, it's not a show that I would, like, watch religiously. I've seen some of it, but, like...
I saw a bunch of the...
Right. I never watched a lot of it, but... Like, you know, I know about it, and like
it's good. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's not bad. It's
good family stuff. It's not bad.
Exactly.
You can watch that with your family. You're cool.
It's like old school '80s sitcoms.
Almost, yeah.
But in a karate setting, completely.
Right. It's like a Nick at Night series.
Full House with karate.
Nah, it's not that karate sitcom, but it's definitely like one of those like Nick at Night joints.
Facts. Yo, so.
They get a little cinematic with it.
A little.
They give it that like the style and feel of the original first movie. They try to like keep it like almost like that.
Okay.
That's what it is. I noticed when I saw it. That was like the first thing I saw. Like, oh, they're using all the like visual language from the original. Like
they are. Yeah, they did. And
yeah, so that's what helps to give it the nostalgic vibe.
I like the take on the coach.
Yeah, totally.
The Cobra Kai coach.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Like he was like the war vet, the whole
right.
The whole grind behind that. It was pretty good. But anyways, aside from Cobra Kai, I'm gonna have to edit that part out.
Do whatever you want.
Let me see, bro. Yo, so Monday night.
Oh, the Giants movie.
Yeah, the Giants movie.
I played the Giants on Monday night. Yeah, that's on Amazon too.
Well, yo, I saw that one. That was Addiction.
Yeah, that's a real powerful film. That's one of my favorites that I've done.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I did that with like Wall Street Productions, which is like the company that I have with Jim Wahlberg. We do like a bunch of like addiction films.
Wow.
I'm working on a documentary about that right now with him.
Wow.
So
that's dope.
We've been working on the documentary for about 3-4 years since before COVID. We started it.
Can you say what the documentary is about?
It's about totally I could talk about what it's about. It's about a bunch of like heroes in the fight against the opioid addiction and addiction in America. It's a bunch of people and all these people, they lost their kids. And they all became like activists and they became like, you know, kind of crusaders.
Wow.
And so we went and we're telling their stories and we're introducing them to the world. Like not introducing to the world because they're out there. People know about them. You're going to
tell their story.
Yeah, we tell their stories and it all sprouts from like a particular thing because in 2015 we did a film about addiction and we had called in a bunch of people to be extras that were like in the addiction space that wanted to like help. And like all these people showed up and when those people got together, they started working together. You know what I mean? That was the first time they all met.
Okay.
And so they got involved with each other. So it sprouted out from there, at least for our story. You know what I mean? Okay. And it sprouted out from there and then it just like, and that's what like spreads out who we go to and who we talk to. But those people started working together and like, and basically they were all grieving parents that lost their kids who like at different times and were at different stages in that process and like had completely changed their lives from doing either their 9 to 5 or their business or whatever it was. They like completely flipped their whole lives to become like crusaders and made that their life's work now.
Wow.
They're not, You know what I mean? They're not. Some of them might be, but like, there's no day job anymore. There's one job.
This is the only focus to have for.
Yeah, that's it. This is my focus. Yeah, like this is my mission in life. You know what I mean? Yeah, and it's in the memory of their kids, in a sense. Yeah. And most of them, it's in the memory of their kid or kids, because some of them lost multiple.
Man. This is all because of opioids.
Yeah, from addiction, from some from fentanyl, and there's fentanyl is a part of it too, but fentanyl is like a lot of it's because of people who are like addicted to opioids. So yeah, it's been a terror. It's like the new Vietnam. You know what I mean? Like it's so insane. Like how many people we lose every year from like opioids, and we've been working on that.
You saw the new Netflix?
The Painkiller? I know about it, yeah.
Oh, man.
And I read the book, the original book.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Was the book good?
Yeah, I read the book. The book is, I read the book because we do a lot of addiction stuff. Mm-hmm. So I read the book to understand the story behind it. The first book, the original one, the like 2015 whatever book.
Well, Painkiller's a series?
Yeah. Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Dope,
it's fire, yeah.
Super dope.
Yeah, it's a great story, yeah.
Yeah, it's scary, though.
Oh no, absolutely! It's terrifying.
It's scary.
It's terrifying. It's terrifying. Yeah.
It's one of those things that when you think about how hardcore they went hard on marketing.
Oh yeah.
And then once you were hooked, it was a wrap.
Oh yeah.
It was a wrap. It's not, you ain't coming back from that.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's a. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have this movie you're working on, the documentary. So how many things you have in the works right now?
Bro, I always have like 5 or 6 kind of projects going at the same time.
Okay. Which other projects do you got going?
I have another like a documentary series that I've been working on. Mm-hmm. That's about culture in Miami. I don't want to necessarily say exactly what it is because the premise is like there and like we're still. I mean, I've been working on it for about 3 years as well. I started that one in 2020, and it's a docu-series though, so it's a lot. You know what I mean?
Ooh, that's super fresh.
It's a lot.
When's it gonna come out?
I mean, I don't think that's not coming out for another like 24 months at least. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's still like 24 months away from like getting into completion. Even though we might do some like, for lack of a better word, like leaks. Mm-hmm. Like we might put out like a demo kind of version of it, or we might put out like like an internet piece of it or whatever. You know, there's options to do stuff like that. But right now we're just banking. You know what I mean? Just like gathering all the material still, and like starting and there's like a big outline kind of put together, like a big skeleton of it. Mm-hmm. But it's not. We're still shooting stuff for it.
What's your favorite part about doing documentaries? Because you do a lot of them.
I work on a lot of documentaries. I mean, I just like telling stories. So like, whether it's documentary or narrative, either one, I like telling stories. Yeah, I'm into the storytelling whole craft of it.
Man, you've had some dope projects. Thank you. What is it? Instant gratification?
Yeah, that was another pilot thing that I made.
Man.
That was a cool pilot. Yeah.
That was really dope.
Yeah, we shopped that sizzle reel. It almost had a deal a couple times. Whatever. It was cool. Like, it was a good experience. It sucks that it didn't get to where I had to go to, but like, I mean, you learn from them shits and like.
Man, that's so Miami though.
Yeah, that was.
It was straight up, like, so all Miami right there.
Yep.
Well, so.
And then now we're about to do Savage Lands, which is like a project that we've been developing for the last couple of years about a rapper in South Florida, more Broward, like not, but you know, there's Miami in it as well. It's not because people in Broward always have come to Miami, like
always, yeah.
Yeah, so like it's part of the whole vibe of it.
Although Broward's beginning to pick up.
Well, Broward just like
it's its own world.
It just became the culture of the Miami people. We all started spreading out there. Mm-hmm. So like, it's the same shit now. You know what I mean? Essentially, Facts. Like the culture's the same.
That's true.
It's spread out. It's not like how it was when at least when I was a little kid, they would go to Broward and it's like, you know, it's almost like real more white or real super black. Like it wasn't as Hispanic. And then probably in the last 20 years, that thing just became like as Hispanic, and the mix became the same mix that you see in Miami became like the natural mix of it.
You remember your first rhyme? You want to kick it?
No, hell no. I ain't doing that. Nah, there was a reason why I stopped.
Yo, so I mean, yeah. Anything you want to push? Anything you want to plug?
Let me think about that. I'm trying to think what a
1 billion people.
Right. I mean, I guess that these to go on Tubi and see Eeny Meeny Miny Mo or go see Mob King. There's 2 different projects I did that both are on there, and then you can watch it for free. You know what I mean? Or you can go if you have Amazon Prime, you can see Suitcasing, or I Play the Giants on a Monday night. You know, they're like if you notice, like really everything's dope. Like super different. Like nothing is like the same. Like, you know, and like, you know, like part of the art that I got to do in order to like live and make a living is like, you know, like, and I do something for Wall Street. Wall Street is a brand. I got to represent that brand there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're painting the pictures that brand represents. It's not necessarily like, you know, even though I'm putting my own art and touch into it, it's not always necessarily my, it's what is right for the brand. You know what I mean?
You're putting out
the brand is more important. Like those things need to carry on, even if I were to like pass it on in a sense. Yeah. When you do something with another brand, or that's what the way brands work. You know, brand is like you want to keep a cohesiveness. So, you know, when I do something for Wall Street, it has like a certain style and it has a certain brand. When I do something for Mob King, for Ciro DiPaggio, for that production company, it has a certain like style and brand to it. When I do stuff for my own shit, it has a certain style and brand to it.
Yeah, that's a fact. You do have your own style.
Yeah, I just always try to give each of those their own thing to it, so that has like a deeper brand, and it's what they're asking for. You know what I mean? Like, if you want this, if you come to me and you tell me, yo, I want Sopranos meets Sons of Anarchy, I'm gonna give you Sopranos meets Sons of Anarchy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna deliver it to you, and you're gonna have all those things. That's gonna be there. That's what you're asking for.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna turn around and be like, "Oh, it's got to be a woman's film," you know. Like,
let's replace all the guys with girls.
Right.
Just all women.
Which I'm not against doing stuff like that sometimes. You know what I mean? But what's the message that we're doing, and like, would it even be appropriate for me to be telling that message?
Got it.
You know what I mean? Like,
you take a lot of things in consideration before you make that move.
Yeah, if I'm gonna do that, then like, why am I even directing it? Why don't I just get a female director? Like, yeah, let's go. It's just about money now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, nah, there's a special film to me. Like, this is like, you know, it's not an autobiographical film, but there's a lot of autobiographical shit that happens in it. You know what I mean? And like, and if you start to change certain variables, like the whole construction of the story starts to fall. So basically, you're just doing a page one. You know what I mean? Because people have different roles. You know what I mean? If there was a bunch of girls, there's a certain more fear that makes them more of an underdog. I get it. And that's cool too.
The story changes though.
But the story changes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like also like, you know, like at least particularly for that film, like people who are 13 or people that grew up in that era, both those two different things, like they need to, like they are gonna feel it. That's your audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they need stuff. There's a void. You know what I mean? Like there's a void out there of stuff that appeals to those two different markets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And does it in a way that's not corny, because that's what I love about my project.
It's really not corny.
It's not corny, but it's like a movie that's for 13-year-olds. It's a movie for 13-year-olds that's not corny at all. It's not corny, not one bit. It's actually deep. It's real deep. It's a real deep cut. Okay. You know what I mean? It's deep and like it's heartfelt, but it's expensive because it's 1991. That's how the short film is.
Shoot.
Like it's expensive because that short film got really expensive really fast just on props and wardrobe and
to find things of that era.
And find things that reflected that era, yeah. And cars and this and that. It was a lot. It was a lot of money spent.
Damn.
A lot of money spent to make that, you know, for that to be able to paint that picture and like sell the era. You know what I mean?
Damn.
You got to sell the era too.
You don't think about those things.
Yeah, if you watch the movie right now, like it's an appropriate representation of the era. You know what I mean? Like we didn't. I mean, there might be a couple little Easter eggs. They'll get you. Come get me, internet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Come get me in the comment section. Get me. You know.
That means you gotta watch
right.
You have to watch it first.
I always tell them, go back and watch it again 3 more times, and tell me if it's still there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And you get those extra spins. You know.
Of course. I'm gonna prove this guy wrong.
Prove me wrong.
What's the most fun you've had on set?
Man, I have fun every day, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie.
That's what's up.
I get to have fun every day. It's cool.
Good.
I love it. I have fun every day. Not every day is fun, but I have fun every day, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Sometimes you gotta deal with some real shit.
Sometimes, yeah.
Often, not even sometimes. Often you're dealing with some real shit, but like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not stressed out. You know what I mean?
It doesn't stop you.
Absolutely not. You know what I mean? Like, nah, I'm it's a joy to like do all this stuff, and it's a blessing that I've been afforded a lot of opportunities. You know what I mean? And I made a lot of people a lot of fucking money. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And like, you know, that it's a blessing to be able to do it. That's just what it really is. It's a blessing. So like, I just enjoy every day. I live in the present. I don't stress too hard. I love being in production. You know what I mean? And the stories that, at least, you know, as you know, you get deeper in your career. I mean, at first for me, I just wanted to know how to fucking do it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, now it's more about like, what are the messages that I'm sending, and like, what are the, you know what I mean? Like, what is the true, like, what am I trying to communicate to the world?
Yeah. What story are you trying to tell?
Yeah.
And what does each piece convey?
And what does it mean? Yeah. What does it mean? Why is it worthy? Especially nowadays, I think you can't make as like frivolous things as much as you. I mean, you can, because people want to have fun and it's easy access to show people. But like at least on a commercial level, where like you're trying to make something, like things gotta have like a real message and like a real, like, you gotta get something from it. You know what I mean? Yeah. It can't be just mindless. I mean, some stuff I guess can, but there's so much mindless shit out there.
Yeah, and it doesn't have longevity, and it's more so replay value. It's
just that stuff that's mindless is more just about spectacle. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what it really is. It's more like, it's the fireworks. You know what I mean? It's like, fireworks are always fun to watch. You know what I mean? I've always loved watching fireworks. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, who does it? It's fire doing cool stuff.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean? Like, come on,
different colors, yay.
Yeah, exactly. And it's cool to watch, but like, you don't, unless they spell some shit out,
you're not there watching.
Yeah, you're watching it for the spectacle. It's cool to watch. It's great. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's one of the great things about film and like narrative storytelling is that you do get to create spectacle. I think that's great about it. I love that. I love that. But if you're going to compete as an independent person trying to tell your own stories, you know what I mean? Like, you got to say something. It can't just be like, well, then this happened and this happened, and you get it, and it just ends. It's like, yo, what's the message you're really putting out there? Yeah. Like, even EM3, like, you know, like EM3, like, I'm a brand new, like, filmmaker. You know what I mean? I'm still getting my footing as far as, like, making feature films. But even that story, you know what I mean? Like had a purpose to it. Like, the whole story is about a person who, like, destroys the thing. Like, in a sense, he destroys everything that he loves over greed, essentially. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what the core of that whole movie is, somebody who destroys their whole world over greed.
Utterly.
Right. And I just thought that was like very like representative of the Miami drug dealer mentality.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know what I mean? Nobody thinks about what happens if the long-term effect happened immediate. Like, it's a way different impact.
It's a deep movie, man. Yeah, and for those that don't know, EM3 is Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo.
Yeah, they're both. It's all the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
that was like the code name they made for it for international audiences, because most international places don't know Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo, what it means.
Oh, they probably thought it was something else.
Right. And then there's other versions of it, Timbarino Pingüe and all the kind of stuff like that we were going to try to play with, but it got so complicated trying to, like, you know,
that's right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They're trying to find like the equivalent from every culture.
Yeah,
it's like, we're gonna call it EM3, give it like a code name, and keep rocking. You know what I mean? Like,
keep it moving.
Yeah, because nobody else came up with anything better. You know what I mean? It just everybody felt like, oh, it sticks for some reason. They're the ones that were like, yeah, it sticks for some reason. I was like, okay, and that was just and they got it from like we used to write it on the slate.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on the slate we would put hashtag EM3.
That's probably why.
You know what I mean? Because the M's was the to the third power. It'd be 3 M's. You know what I mean? So the slate, so it'll fit. You would just put that on the on the board, so that way, whenever you took a picture of it or whatever, they knew it was a hashtag. You know what I mean?
Got it.
And that's how it became like our also behind the scenes hashtag that we were running back in the early days of Instagram when we were like shooting and people were like posting stuff. From the shoots.
People were going crazy over hashtags.
Yeah, especially back then, like this is like 2011 or whatever, like early days of Instagram. Jeez, 2012, 2011, 2012.
Look at the world we live in.
Yeah, it's still on the gram.
Shit.
Gram is bigger than ever.
And TikTok.
Yeah.
And.
Yeah, the gram is still the blockbuster though.
Facts.
Yeah, that's the movie theater now.
It's a whole different world, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's a whole different world. But shit. Yeah. We gotta wrap it up, man.
How long is this?
Yo, we are easily at an hour and a half.
So this is like a real podcast now.
Word, yeah, bro.
This ain't a radio show.
This ain't a radio show, son.
This is not a radio show. You get to really vibe on this.
This is what it is.
Yeah, that's fire though. I love that.
Hell yeah. I like those. We shoot the shit, man.
I like that. That's one of the things I always loved about a lot of the Joe Rogan podcasts. Like,
hell yeah.
I read like even the ones where it's very like back and forth or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like it's the only place I really get a sense of like who the people are. Because
they get to it's like they say, man, let people talk.
Yeah.
They'll tell you everything.
Yeah.
And just to be able to shoot the shit about the projects and the work and the behind the scenes and the shit that people normally don't hear about is super dope because especially now in the climate that we're in, that you think of the strike, the unionizers, right? They want to the writers union, the actors guild, both. I think they're both called guilds, right?
Yeah,
Writers
correct,
Guild and the Actors Guild. So
SAG-AFTRA.
Yeah, and man, they're getting screwed on the deal. You know what I mean? And it's definitely well worth bringing up. And that's why I love to have you on and just shoot the shit for a little bit and talk about it, touch on it, because I follow them on the gram, and you see when they post the percentages. Yo, give up 4%.
Yeah, it's not that big a deal.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah, they're not asking for a lot. I mean, we're doing a deal with SAG right now to like shoot our movie, and crazy. You know, and it's nothing they're asking for is that crazy. At least for independent films or any of that kind of stuff like that, it's not that crazy. We'll gladly will pay those.
Yeah,
gladly. It's more about television. It really is, because television became so big, became like the central filmmaking. Yeah, became television. So it's really affecting television way more than like films in a sense, even though studio films are shut down because of it.
Wow.
You know, because.
Well, yeah, everyone's shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Some of my favorite flicks are shut down, man.
Absolutely, yeah.
Shit. When Deadpool 3 was about to start cranking, man, and
they shut it down. And I think the Batman sequel, got shut down too, or they didn't start it or whatever.
The Batman?
And the second part,
that's
Robert,
right. Yeah,
with Robert Pattinson.
I mean, I don't know, man.
Whatever.
I don't know. I hope it turns out really good.
I'm not like a dude that like super watches franchise stuff anyway. Like I watch some of it, but more as like I'm more of a fan of like top level filmmaking than I am of some of like the stories or whatever. You know what I mean?
Barbie or Oppenheimer?
I mean, I saw them both.
Barbie was pretty good.
Barbie was cool. Barbie was like Wes Anderson style, like sort of a Wes Anderson kind of style, like it's a very like surreal. It's obviously a surreal film.
Yeah,
definitely had Lego movie vibes.
Facts.
Yeah,
I definitely agree. I haven't seen Oppenheimer yet because I want to see it in Fort Lauderdale in the IMAX.
I mean, I saw it in IMAX. I didn't see it in Fort Lauderdale, but I saw it in the big screen or whatever. And it was dope. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah. I can't wait to see it.
I like event filmmaking. I like all that stuff. I think it's cool to go check that out. And like, you know, it's like the top thing of your profession. I'm like, why not?
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Like, yeah, it's a top field work. Like, you got to see that. No matter what, even if you don't like it or not.
Well, you got to see. Yeah, you got to see what they're doing.
You just got to see. Yeah, you got to see it.
Like, from what I've seen, it looks amazing.
It was dope. I mean, I think what's more, I mean, nowadays I feel like with movies and most movies, obviously not with indies, but like most things that are out there, like the look, they got that down. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to get the look. You're not putting on a big movie without it looking spectacular. You got way too many good people that understand how to technically make something look amazing out there doing it. But to me, the big fireworks of that movie is just the way it makes you feel.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the emotions and the triggers of the emotions that they give you.
He said it was a suspense movie without an enemy.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it has that feeling to it to a certain extent, yeah.
Something along those lines.
It's like, it is kind of like a solving a puzzle movie, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a...
Don't tell me, don't... This,
yeah, I'm just saying that's just the type of genre it is. Yeah, I know, I don't want to ruin nothing for nobody.
Yeah, I want to see that shit.
Yeah, but it's but I liked it, I enjoyed it. But like I said, what's dope to me about that movie is the way it makes you feel, like the journey that you go on, like how it makes you feel, how it, like, what it gives you to understand
what happened,
that journey, you know what I mean, that they go on.
Ooh, that's deep.
Like, yeah, I like the way, and it was a little on the long side because it's like a 3-hour movie, and I think anytime you watch a 3-hour movie, for some reason your ass starts to hurt when you're sitting there.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I always like know when a movie's getting too long when my ass starts to hurt or whatever. You know what I mean? And there's been some movies that have been like that, you know, have been so good that ass didn't hurt at all because you were like so like glued in. You felt it after the movie was done, like, oh, whoa.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But
that wasn't one of them.
But that no, I'm saying like there's a part of it that did feel like a little like okay, but it was dope and it was beautiful and like yeah, it's definitely top level filmmaking. You know,
that's dope.
Congrats to that guy. He fucking killed it.
Shit.
It's a great film, yeah.
Can't wait to see it.
You'll enjoy it. You'll like it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that shit, man.
Great performances. Super nuanced.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Matt Damon's cool. Reliably cool.
Yeah, I know that every snippet I've seen, every interview, has just been something else, so I'm looking forward to it.
I like what him and Ben did on Air, too. I thought that was hot. I thought Air was dope.
Oh, where?
Air, the movie Air that they did.
Oh, I didn't see that.
You didn't see that? It's on Amazon now, but it came out theatrically for a minute.
Really?
About, yeah, like how the Air Jordan shoe became.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, my bad. Yeah, I have seen. Yes. Yeah, that was really dope. Matt Damon.
Yeah, that was dope. I like that. I thought it was cool. That was a rare, like, oh, wow, that's a cool...
No one knows that story. That's such
no, they actually tell that. What's funny is that there was a documentary that was actually on Netflix. I think it's still on there.
Is it? About
that story. It was also combined with the LeBron James story and like whatever, but it was about that guy, that Sonny guy.
Okay.
Like the main character. Who looks nothing like Matt Damon. Nothing.
I don't want to watch it then.
Yeah, no, but I know, right? You know what I mean? But that was the dude that made that whole thing happen, and like, and yeah, it's about his whole story, like, and getting the job at Nike and the whole nine, and like what he used to do. And he has a crazy dope history. His history is crazy. It's super interesting. So I had a documentary before that, so like definitely there was because that documentary I think was really popular at one point on Netflix.
Yeah.
I mean, this is way back.
I don't know. I know that.
I think it was like 2015.
This movie, Air, is definitely much more popular than the documentary.
Oh, absolutely, because narrative movies with superstars in it always are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, but it was that was cool that they did that.
Yeah.
That was a great story.
Yeah, they didn't finish it though. It was dope though.
Yeah, it was a great story.
But yeah, man, we're gonna have to cut it short.
That's it.
We're an hour and something in. I'm getting tired.
Okay. All right.
No, is that this? We're about an hour 40, man. It's dope.
Yeah, that's good. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
It's like a real podcast.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, but I'm not gonna edit shit. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna let it run like this.
Yeah, I don't feel like I said anything that I would, want to be edited out anyway. You know what I mean? Like
we good. I think we solid.
Yeah, I don't care. Everything I said was like legit, like nothing. Yeah,
everything's legit.
Yeah.
I'll send if you want. I'll send you a copy.
Yeah, send me a link.
So you could beforehand.
I mean, whatever. I'm not tripping. Like,
all right, word.
Yeah, like
right,
I'm not dropping no truth bombs, no crazy, no crazy revelations. Other than like like just a glimpse into like what I'm kind of dealing with on a daily basis and kind of working on, and like it's all stuff that I would just tell anybody in my industry. You know what I mean? It's like an industry peek into like, hey, this is what I open the curtain for. It's you get the vision into the curtain for a second.
Come behind the curtain for a little bit.
Yeah, and you get to see like all the toys and shit that we're working on. You know what I mean? And
that's dope.
All the things that we're trying to make.
Well, shit, man. I can't wait to see all of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of great stuff. I got some really great stuff coming. Like all the new stuff that I'm doing is like definitely like a new step, a new evolution forward. And you learn so much from all these projects, and you get better relationships.
Okay.
You always learn, especially like working independent. Like you can work for the studios, but and we do, and I do stuff for different studios, different channels, and different bigger things. You know what I mean? But like when you're making your own stuff, you know what I mean? You get to make the culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you get to make the rules.
Would you say, what would you say is the best little nugget of advice you could give an independent artist?
I mean, it depends on what stage they're at in their, making films kind of thing. And also where they're coming from, because there's a lot of people who like work in television, like I did. I worked in television for a few years. Had a hit TV show. That helped. You know what I mean? That opened up a bunch of doors. Let people know, hey, this kid knows what he's doing. Got me in there. Even though most of it's word of mouth, I've never really had a business card ever. I think I had one when I was in like college.
Shit.
And then I never got one again. I think I got one once when I needed to like produce a project, and I made a producer business card, because producers have business cards.
Yeah.
But as a director and as a, even as an editor or whatever, I never had a business card. I got like a little website that you can go to that's like a little website made in 10 minutes that has like a bunch of links to my work. But
never really had a business card.
No, I never really had to, because like I said, I've been blessed that like before this job runs out, somebody else is already calling.
Got it.
To like pick up the next thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've been blessed with that, which has been great, you know what I mean?
That's what's up.
Sometimes they come sooner or later, you know what I mean? So whatever, but I've been blessed that like it's been recurring.
Yeah.
And still living off of that word of mouth in a sense. That's still that wave of it.
That's what's up, man. That's good.
Yeah. It's been amazing. As I'm telling you, like so I tell you, I feel like blessed every day, you know what I mean? Because it's literally from word of mouth. Like I don't get any job. I don't have job interviews. Like, people man. Like hear about me. I get referred to by somebody else that I worked with. And they're like, yo, work with this guy because he cares.
Because he actually,
He cares. He cares about the work.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, that's like the main thing. Is like I can care. Even if I'm working on your project, because I do that a lot. I do a lot of saving on projects too. Like people bring me stuff and they're like, yo, what's going on with this? It's not working.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, okay, cool. We're going to make it work. We figure it out.
Word.
I do that a lot. I did that a lot. I'm doing a lot less now of it than I did in the past, but like for many, many years, I was like, hey, we got this thing. What do we do with this? How do we make it work? And it's not because I can do special effects edits or that bullshit. Yeah. Like, I don't really do that. Like I outsource all that shit. Like I'm not.
You're
like I don't do any of that. I don't like doing any of that.
Yeah.
Like I like just like rearranging story and getting story better, and like, what I mean, like this what I call invisible editing. That's the shit I like. That's what more like the kung fu in editing. That's the kung fu that I practice the hardest.
Got it.
Which is like the invisible editing, where when you're watching it, you don't know if like it cut.
Oh, you make it smooth. You smooth
it's so
it out.
Yeah, it's so flowing with the dramatic energies of the scene that you'll watch the whole scene and you're like, did it even cut? Like you don't know, you don't remember, you don't see it.
It was the last thing on your mind.
Yeah, the last thing you think. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't call attention to itself. You know what I mean? As an edit. You know what I mean? And like that's the style I like. You know what I mean? Because I enjoy. To me, that's the like the fun challenge in narrative film is like there's a few of them. You know what I mean? But that's one of them. Is like to be transparent, and then because the ability to be transparent also gives you when you're not transparent, it hits harder.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Instead of just getting lost. So like when you do it as a technique and you're like, yo, boom, I'm going to cut where I'm going to make the cut really noticeable, you feel it harder. And I like that. And that's just part of the, you know, all the little things that you do. I wouldn't call them tricks. I would call them more like techniques. You know what I mean?
Techniques makes more sense.
Yeah, it's more techniques and like an understanding of. I've always had like at least I feel I have always had like a good, like, sense of like the understanding the transfer of energy in scenes and the way that it works and like who should it be on. And when you should cut to it, and there's like a bunch of different little. That's
all experience will tell you, man.
Experience is a big part of it, and also just feeling it too. You know what I mean? There's like a way of doing it, and letting it's like the good thing is that sometimes when I do get to edit, like for me, I know the tech and the equipment so well, like, you know, I play it like the way like someone plays a piano in a sense. You know what I mean? Like like the tools don't get in my way.
You're utilizing them.
I'm utilizing them, and like I don't have to think about utilizing them. I can just do it without thinking. It's like driving a car to me now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You drive a car, you can watch a podcast and like.
I don't know about watching a podcast.
No, I'm saying, like, you know, or listen to a podcast. Like you can listen to the radio while you like drive in the car or whatever.
You can multitask.
Absolutely, when you're in a car, you can eat a sandwich. You can do a bunch of different stuff. Like, like I have the tool down to that.
You've mastered your tools.
Yeah, those tools and editing tools. Yeah, I got that pretty mastered. Like as far as like knowing how to use them all and like and what they do. And I'm not maybe like a specialty in doing certain things, but like.
But you can make it happen. That's all that matters.
I can, you know, I can put it all together from beginning to end, and I know how to finish a movie. Because that's the thing. A lot of directors don't know how to finish a movie. You know what I mean? And I know how to finish them.
Like land the plane type finish them, or
because a lot of some people just like throw it off to the editor and the producer. I mean, not saying all of them or whatever, but you know, some do. Or maybe they were hired just to direct, and that's it. They're gone. And the producer and because that's what a lot of times I'm stepping in to edit because the director's gone.
To make it feel like the movie's over.
Yeah, and I got to finish it. You know what I mean? The director's gone. He's not working now.
Yeah.
It's the producer and, you know what I mean? The producer and maybe the writer or whoever. You know what I mean? Like whoever owns the project that's bringing it to be edited.
Yeah.
It might not be the director. You know what I mean? So like.
Man, that's a mission.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And now you got to finish it. I got to finish. I got to figure out what the intent was.
Have you ever finished the movie the wrong way?
I mean, nah, because there's ways to figure out not to do that. You know what I mean?
Because like that's leaving the door open.
Well, I mean, luckily sometimes they come back and they'll like watch it later on and be like, oh, they'll give you their notes or whatever.
Gotcha. Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They'll be able to work with you on that.
I mean, sometimes, but I mostly work on my own stuff. I don't really work on that many like outside. Like I do mostly my own productions. Like I just do those.
Savage.
I mean, I do other ones to like make additional bread to like make ends meet, but
gotcha.
Here and there, you know what I mean?
Shit, Jokes. Where can we find you on social media and on the webs?
I mean, I'm at Jokes Flick.
Okay. Like
JOKESFLICK, everything spelled properly.
Okay.
And I mean, that's where pretty much you can find me, and like I have the whole, you know, you can see like a bunch of like links to a bunch of my work and like.
Yeah, man. I
can be thoroughly investigated through those.
If you have any of those streaming services, Amazon Prime, Tubi,
right? I mean, everybody got
Netflix,
Tubi. Tubi's free.
Everything and everything.
Just log into Tubi and go to town.
You could find any of those projects that you've worked on.
And I've IMDb is crazy. I worked on a lot of different stuff. You know what I mean?
So you keep it updated.
Absolutely, yeah. Mine's definitely up to date. Yeah, I'm a professional. I keep my stuff up to date.
That's what's up.
Yeah, because it matters. You know what I mean? Like especially now, because now that with the experience under my belt and the capabilities that we've been able to do, like we're making feature films. You know what I mean? Like on a regular basis, that's what we do. You know, that's like our like full-time capacity thing that we're doing the most.
That is amazing, man.
Yeah. So.
Damn, Jokes, you come a long way, bro.
It's a grind, bro.
I'm happy to see where you're at now.
Thank you.
Especially as a fan of your work. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. Yeah, I just personally love making stuff, and like I like making different types of stuff. I don't want to get bored.
Got it.
And like, you know, and as long as like I'm happy doing it, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean?
That's what's
and
up.
If it stops making me happy, I'll stop doing it. But as long as it's making me happy and I can still live off of it and like, you know, and live comparable to like most human beings that have like a,
yeah.
you know, that are at a certain level in their life. Like, yo, like why would you do anything else?
You're absolutely right.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, like
100%.
I think that's the ultimate goal, is to like do what you like love to do and have a passion for. And you know, and I'll be honest with you, like I feel like it's healthy. Like I'm not stressed. I'm not, bro. I'm blessed. I live with gratitude all day long.
That is what's up.
Yeah, I live with a feeling of gratitude because I just like, wow, I'm just grateful that, you know, opportunities are there.
Amen to that.
Yeah, just grateful every day grateful as hell. And grateful to a lot of people who help me out that are like real, you know, those day ones and those day hundreds that, you know what I mean? Like
day ones and day hundreds.
Yeah. You know what I mean? That have like always reached back and kept me in mind and like, you know what I mean? It was like, oh man, this guy's great. You should use him.
That's what's up.
And, you know, just talk good about me. Talk good about me to somebody else, and they knew that, you know, I wasn't going to jerk them, or I was going to be fair, treat them fairly. And
that's a perfect example of that meme that says you want the type of friends that are going to name drop you in a room you're not in.
Yeah, bro. And I love it. That's been like my whole, like, it's been like 20 years of my career. It's been on that.
That is what's up, man.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool.
Well, shit, Jokes. Congratulations on everything. Can't
Thank
wait
you.
to see all the future projects you have in the works right now.
Yeah, there'll be a ton of them. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
There's a lot coming.
And once they all drop, we'll come back on the show.
All right, cool. Let's do it.
All right, brother. Dale. Have a great one, man.
All right, Dale. Put the theme song on.